Aloha mai kākou, and welcome to Inspired by Aloha, a podcast dedicated to making your day a little brighter by showcasing that inspirational people and acts of aloha surround us every day. My name is Erin.
And I'm Amy.
And I'm Shireen.
And we are so grateful that you've chosen to spend a few minutes with us as we get ready to be Inspired by Aloha.
Well, aloha and welcome. We are so excited to be here. We are sitting in a very special place with very special people. And we are in, I don't want to say Hawaiʻi Kai because Aunty going to give me the look from across the table. Maunalua. Yes, thank you. We're in Maunalua at the area of Lunalino home. And we're sitting with two very special ladies. And we're so, so grateful to be here with them. We have Aunty Kuʻuipo Kumukahi. And we have Jeninne Heleloa. And we are with the Hawaiian Music Perpetuation Society.
Yes.
And here on the grounds of Lunalino home. And we're so excited to be here. This is your new spot.
Yeah.
And
this is our first road trip.
this is our first road trip.
Our first
wow, so exciting. Thank you. Only took me an hour and a half to set up.
You did a great job.
Yeah. So thank you so much for inviting us to your new hale over here.
You're
and welcoming us to your home. Yes. And so we're going to start totally old school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where are you from? What school you went? And a little bit about yourselves.
So my name is Kuʻuipo Kumukahi, and I'm from Hilo, Hawaii, by way of the Hamakua coastline, a place known as Aleʻamai. That piece of property has been in our family since 1850. It was gifted to my great-great-grandfather from Kauikeaoli Kamehameha III in a royal patent. And I'm the fifth generation on the property, and like anything else, we should run 7 generations. So there's 2 more after me, and I think we're already working on the eighth generation coming up. But I grew up with graveyards in my backyard, and I thought everybody was like that. When my classmates would come for slumber party, they would get scared and they want to go home because they get graves. And I used to tell them, "Why, you guys no more?" Because I thought everybody was like that. I went to St. Joseph's in Hilo, a Catholic school. I'm not Catholic, but the reason why my mother sent me there was because of my auntie, who was Catholic, and she had nobody that was Catholic in her. Her children were not Catholic; they were Protestants. But really, I asked my mother once. I said, "How come you sent me to a Catholic school? We're not Catholic." She said, "Baby, I love you. You need supervision."
So it's not about the education.
Yeah, no. It's about the supervision.
She knew. That's good. Yeah.
And the good news, so if any kids are listening out there, I'm still in touch with my nuns, They all live out at the plaza. And my senior teacher is still here. So, hey, I love it. And I love to go see them. Even my 5th grade teacher from St. Patrick's, I reconnected with her. So,
oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
This is Ruth Silverstein, so I'm just so happy.
You're still being supervised.
Yes, but I got to behave.
Were you a good student or kolohe?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're welcome. Yep, I was the leader.
The alakai.
So that's me.
Tell them the lookout story.
Which one?
You were the lookout.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, tell nobody. You guys better not repeat this story. And don't share it with the kids because they just might figure it out. So I was the lookout student because the boys, but our school was, we had sidewalks. And so, some of the kids drive to school. And of course, the teachers would drive and they park on the sidewalks and on the street sidewalks. And, so sometimes when we mad at the teacher, the boys would go carry the car onto the sidewalk, especially the Volkswagens, because light there in the front, so they can pick them up. So my job was to watch the hallway in case if the nun came, then I had to let the boys know they put the car down. And I would say, "No, she went the other way." They put them up on the sidewalk, and then we go back to class, right? And then at the end of the school day, we all stand up to the side and we're watching, and they're trying to get their car off the sidewalk. Okay, no say nothing. You guys better not say anything. You get me in
I like how
trouble.
she said, "Oh, tell him the lookout story," and you're like, "Which one?"
Well, then again, there were other types of lookouts.
You go ahead.
Been there, done that. Actually, I invented it. I mean, the Volkswagen, that is.
That's right. The Volkswagen. Yeah. Of course.
So Hilo, Hawaii is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And what year you grad?
Yep.
That's a
I did.
secret.
I did grad.
Yes.
What year?
Yes.
I'd never have calendar back then. Yeah, in Hilo, we don't use calendar. We just look at the moon. We're all good.
That's good.
Yeah,
Okay, just
okay, I
checking.
power already.
Okay.
Not already. Everybody all laughing too hard. They gotta go bathroom.
How about you, Jeninne?
Oh, okay. So my name is Jeninne Heleloa, and I'm from Oʻahu. I was born and raised Kalaipohaku. I spent my life kind of back and forth between Honolulu and Southern California. My dad moved there when I was young. So I get to go to different schools, meet all kinds of people, have so much fun. For the longest time, everybody thought I was someone up there. And they were afraid of me. So I just let it be. I figure if they want to know, they're going to come ask me. And then my best friends were, we're all different walks of life. And we would, one of my favorite stories I had shared was we would go to Disneyland every weekend. Oh. But again, not that we had a whole lot of money. At that time, I found out it was $9 to get in. So this would have been in the 80s. Wow. Somewhere in the 80s. It was like $9. And yeah, those days are long gone. I think you can even get like popcorn for $9.
The inflation between
Right.
the 80s wasn't that long ago, was it?
That's what I said.
Costs more for parking.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right.
True. Yeah.
I went to Kaimuki High School and graduated in 91. I have lots of good friends. I have 2 children. My daughter is 32 and my son is 30. And my son lives in Alaska and my daughter lives with me. And we, let me see, what's the word? Recruited her to come and work for our organization. So she does so much for us. She's our admin person. And we go, she go. And she's very
all in.
supportive. She is. She is.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. So, tied into that, Auntie, can you tell us how you got into music?
How did I get into music? Okay, so you guys all got your popcorn. You guys gotta, it's gonna be a little while. If you guys are gonna go out, I'll go now. Yeah, come back, sit down, and listen to the rest of the story. No, I'm just kidding. So my papa was a Maunalua. He was a native speaker. And he was actually punished in school for speaking Hawaiian.
Wow.
And so definitely, he never spoke to his daughter in Hawaiian. But Mama she was so good. She had the idea of how to get Hawaiian language into my mouth, and it was through songs. And so she would encourage me. In fact, I'm self-taught. And it's because of her that I'm self-taught. It started with an ukulele. I was 10 years old. And we were living here on Oʻahu at that time because my dad he worked for the Department of Transportation, the State Highways Division. And they were finishing off the H1 freeway here on Oʻahu, starting the H2. So they needed workers. So my uncle and my mom's brother and my dad, and we all came to Oʻahu, and we lived on Aloha Avenue. And so 3 siblings all lived next to each other. So guess what happened on a Sunday afternoon? The kani kapila under the mango tree, and my mom's younger sister, number 14, played the ukulele, and my uncle played guitar. And so, I'd listened to all of this, and like I said, I was 10 years old, and I sort of got interested. And so Mama found that a good opportunity to encourage me to learn. and she would, there was, I don't know if you remember those old songbooks where there were chords on the top of the words.
Yeah.
And then there'll be pictures, and so you had to kind of make your fingers match the picture. And then you had to play, but somebody had to sing the song because there was no voice to the song. So I remember my mom saying, well, you should learn the ukulele, and she would share the ukulele with me, and she gave me a song, and the first song she gave me was Poor Carnation, and she said, here, why don't you learn this? All you have to do is follow the pictures. And then when I started to learn, I told her, Mama, how does this song go? So she started to sing it to me, and then she says, you just watch, and as it changes, I say the words, you change the chords in what you're doing. Oh, okay. So Poor Carnation was my first song. And my mom at the same time was working at Leahi Hospital in the mental illness department. And these were some of the individuals that were being let out from Kaneohe State Hospital. And so she would have me come to the hospital after school, and she would always take me to this one patient of hers who could play the ukulele. So she would tell him to show me. And so he would, and I would watch him. And then, there was all the hauwala'au by the other nurses. Lani, you're not worried that your daughter going, he's going to do this to your daughter. And my mother looked at him, that other nurses, and said, excuse me, these are human beings.
Good for you, Mom.
Yep.
These are human beings. He likes doing that. And I'm under supervision. The nurses are all around. My mom's there. So what harm would that be? So eventually my mother invited him to come to our family gatherings. Wow. She had to get the permission from the psychiatrist. And so he would allow this gentleman to come with us. And then after that, we moved back home after about 1.5 years. And I remember this one day, she took me, she said, come on, let's go. My mother was always like, come on, let's go. And I would never ask. I said, okay. And we got in the car, we went, and I said, Mama, where are we going? She said, never mind. No ask. I said, okay. So I didn't ask. And then just before we got into Hilo Town, she says, I'm buying you an ukulele. And I said, why? I said, I don't need one. She said, no, you go get one, because I had to give back the original ukulele I was learning on was my cousin's. So I'm going to get you one, and you play. And I said, okay. So we went into town. She bought me the ukulele. It was a 4-string kamaka. And it was a concert size, so it was not the standard size. It was a little bit bigger. And we went home, and she would tell me, okay, learn this song. Now you learn this one. And then she would put the record on. She said, you listen, to the point where my mother was doing my homework for me. She would make me go. She not make me, but she said, go study your music, go. Just go, no need. I didn't have to wash clothes. I didn't have to clean house. She got a maid. She got a yard man. Yeah, this is my mother, just so that her daughter could just sit and listen to music.
Wow.
Wow, that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Right? And I just, I just trusted everything my mom said. And what that was doing, and I had no idea until I think was within this past decade. I think I shared this with Jeninne. What my mother was doing was she was putting that Hawaiian words into my mouth, because my father wouldn't speak to me in Hawaiian, but at least I would have the words in my mouth through Mele.
Right.
Yes.
So these little nuances of teaching opportunities, I think people should really understand how you take a child and I learned this too from her. How do you take someone and look at their strengths and build on it, rather than force feed their weaknesses? And they have no interest in it. And my mom did that all the time. So even with working with adults with mental illness, that's what she was doing all the time. And I learned how to do that with her. So the next thing was, I got a guitar. I said, Mom, I cannot play that. It's too big. My hands are too small. She said, never mind. You keep practicing, practice. So I was able to take what I learned from the ukulele and put it to the guitar. And then, I'm turning 15, and I was out playing music with my friends in town. And then my father would go, and then I'd find my father gone from the party. I said, where did he go? We're playing all this music. Where did my father go? And I went home to complain to my mom. And she said, next time you go, watch where he is. And so I watched. And he would be outside of the party space with all these other people. And I'd go home and I'd tell my mom, and she said, you know what they do? They speak in Hawaiian. They would remove themselves from the party main space, and they would be outside to converse with each other in Olelo, Hawaii. And I didn't like that at all. And I promised myself that ain't happening again. I am not letting that happen. So most of my repertoire is in Olelo, Hawaii. As a part of making that really happen. So, some of the tourist spaces, right? There's, we don't want Hawaiian music. Hawaiian music, we've had this before. Hawaiian music is really nice, but Kuʻuipo, we got to give the visitors what they want.
Wait, the visitors to Hawaii?
Yes. Yeah, hello. Yeah, I think you better rewind because I don't think you know what you just said. So, hence, moving forward, Hawaiian Music Perpetuation Society is what we do now. To keep the Hawaiian language in the Mele, to send that out to the public to hear it. Because, once you put it away, that's it.
Yeah.
It gets put away.
Yeah.
We're letting it, we're going to make sure that it's still alive.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my background.
Wow.
When did you start the Hawaiian Music Perpetuation Society?
What year was that? 2020?
2020. It was our COVID baby.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody else was having them, so we had ours.
No sourdough for you?
No sourdough. And we had
no grass growing under the feet. I like this story. Go ahead. Tell that one.
Okay. So, for mommies, no daddies. We tell everybody we love our kane. They just weren't in the room at the time. And when we talk, and you have two of the four mommies that are still actively involved in the organization. The mission of Hawaiian Music Perpetuation Society is to preserve, promote, perpetuate Mele Hawaii. Nice. And we do that through live presentation. We do that through education. Our focus is in education, community, and health. So all that we do, we give the messages out, and it's Mele is the vehicle. Yeah. And it's so beautiful because we learned so many wonderful stories from our ali'i. We have opu ali'i that were servant leaders that had such a love for us and people for generations. The people of Hawaii for generations, they thought of us when they went haku mele. We did a class over at one of the high schools, and we talked about the Queen's Prayer and asked them to consider the context, right? So it's so important to understand what was going on in Hawaii's history at that time when she penned that mele, and there was so much turmoil and so many things happening outside her door, and yet she chose to, instead of kicking and screaming and yelling and many of us would say, it could be justified. She chose to harness all of her energy and pen a beautiful prayer, asking God to forgive them. And really, and I love how Aunty Kuʻuipo explains that it was an exercise perhaps for her, but more thinking generations ahead for us to learn how to forgive. And learning that if she could do it, so can we. And that we don't want to shut the doors and close ourselves off to people, but rather forgive and have that and share aloha. She was the one that told us that to attain the kingdom of heaven is to see what cannot be seen, to hear what is not said, and to know the unknowable, right? That is aloha. And we share it so frequently. I mean, we share it here, and it is a law. It's a law in Hawaii.
That's right.
Yes.
And so when we do what we do, I met Aunty Kuʻuipo when she came and spoke to our Olelo class at Kapiolani Community College in 2016, I think it was, with Kumu White. And it was a summer class, and I admit I took Olelo Hawaii in the summer because I thought, okay, I can hurry up and check the box, But I tell you, it was completely unexpected. I have been at this point, in and out of college for years. And when I was in class, I was ready with my pen and my paper, and I'm looking at the board. I'm like, okay, what is today's? And Kumu walks in and she starts talking about how beautiful the trees are outside and how wonderful this is. And then we get homework, and then she forgets to ask us about it. And I'm like, wait a second, what about our homework? Wait, I did my homework. I finished. And so I was one of that kind of students, and I was like, I don't know how to take this. But then it's like I missed the point. It was the journey. It was experience, learning through experience, rather than, okay, everybody turn to chapter 1, page 3, and let's go through this. So in that class, Kumu had invited Aunty Kuʻuipo to come and talk to our class, and come to find out that was your Kumu also, right? In Olelo, Hawaii, when you went back to school later.
Yes.
Wow.
And you and Uncle Jerry Santos were classmates.
Oh, no kidding.
So she came in, talked to our class, and she shared the mo'olelo about the aina that she lives on in Papaiko. And I remember when you were done talking, I this had never happened to me before or since. But after she was I went up to go hug her, and I just started weeping. And I was like, what is going on? And there was a part of me that was thinking, what's wrong with you? I was like, well, how come you crying? I don't know her. And I was like, why am I crying? And it's like the kind, sobbing kind. I was like, what is going on? And I was thinking about what day of the month it was. I was like, I'm trying to rule stuff out. Like, what is going on? But I think it was because her story, it just touched me, and I was so moved. And so right after that class, Kumu said, okay, Jeninne, you're responsible for getting her in here and teach a class here at Kapiolani Community College. And I was like, oh, okay, how do I do that? And she goes, I sent her paperwork. She didn't finish it. You need to follow up. So I'm emailing with her. I said, oh, aloha Kumu. I'm very, very humble, very, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to push, but yes, we need you to come and teach. And so she got all her paperwork in. Next semester, she taught Mele Aloha, right? Na Mele Aloha was the name of the class. And it was the first time that you taught class at Kapiolani Community College. We had 4 registered students and 40 people in the class. Because every kupuna came in.
Now.
Right? Oh, well, you're welcome.
When the kupuna found out she was teaching a Mele class, they all signed up.
That's right.
And
Yes.
we went, and I tell you, it was a wonderful experience. I am the student, with the page 1. I'm so used to that. And so when I'm glad I had Kumu White before that kind of, So when Aunty Kuʻuipo came in and she said, okay, we're going to talk about composers. And I was thinking, okay. And she says, okay, well, let's listen to these songs. And I remember a time when she was singing a song, and I closed my eyes and I just started crying. It's her voice, the way she sings, and it's like, even though I don't completely understand perhaps all of the olelo, the way she sings it, it's like that opera kind of like, it just, you can feel the emotion in her voice. And when everybody closed their eyes and we listened to her sing, we realized we opened our eyes, we all turned around, everybody looked like, oh, we're a mess. I was like, wow, what else does that? What else moves us that way? And music being so universal, right? And so that was the beginning of our journey together. And then Auntie was playing music that time with Uncle Jerry Santos. And you were playing with Auntie Haunani Apoliona,
Right.
and Ryan Tang.
Yes.
And so we would go, it was groupies, we would go like, oh, this is so much fun, something to look forward to on the weekends. And then after that, it was, she said, you should come by. So I was finishing up school. I had one more project to do, and I did it actually on your family and her mo'olelo. And then she said, oh, we should do Hawaiian culture classes here. Come teach over here. Do stuff with. And I was thinking, I never even learned how to make lei. I don't know how to make lei la'i. I don't know any of this stuff. And she said, "That's okay. I teach you." So that was the beginning of that process. And and then it just kept growing from there. It was such a blessing and such an amazing experience. My even though. When my father moved away, he's the Hawaiian one. When he moved away, we did it. He didn't speak much about Hawaii. I could sense that there was some eha, but I don't know what it was. So learning only now recently about our history, about our language, about our people, it's so beautiful. And I was thinking, wow, this is wonderful. This is different than what I've been exposed to. And we know there's generational trauma and some of it very close to home. But I shared this before. When we talk about Hawaiian music, to me, Hawaiian music means safety. I know it's gonna be okay, because and then I get all emotional. Sorry.
No.
But when we're living in California, there would be times when, I know my dad was going through stuff and it was hard for him. But we would walk home from school, and if I could hear Hawaiian music playing from far away, I knew it was going to be okay. So that's what it meant to me. And then when I get to learn more about it and then learn the history and, okay, so I can't sing. Wait. I can sing, but I've been told maybe I should keep it inside. Learn to express my emotions internally.
Sing them in the shower.
So I love it. I'm the quiet one. Except my family will say, "Nah, you always in the." I'm like, no. I don't like spotlight. I'm good I like to watch people. I'm a people watcher. I love to watch how people move. So that's what actually led me to major in psychology in college. So that was my path. That's where I was headed when I met Aunty Kuʻuipo, and then she said one day, "Hey, we go start this nonprofit." I was like, okay. To me, I was like, "Hey, we go have popcorn or let's watch a movie." Okay. I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought, okay, shoot. So we and then I learned all these wonderful things, and just like how most of us learn how to swim. And yeah, there you go. And I'm still alive. It's okay. But that's our good fun journey.
Yes,
Oh boy, I tell you, and it's been fun ever since.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because we're on that, Auntie, can you share that story, the Papai Cole story, with the Mele?
Sure. Okay, so before I start the Mele, let me just explain. The land that was given to my great-great-grandfather in 1850 is about 25 acres. And only half of that, 12 and a half acres, was developed for houses. But when I grew up, we were the only house there. Right now, I have cousins that all moved home. So what happened was my great-grandmother leased out 12 and a half acres for to the plantation, which resulted in some negative outcomes with road access. But nevertheless, that after the plantation was finished, all the grass started growing up, and so my dad felt, well, he had gone down to the end to the end of the cliff, and he saw somebody was planting pakalolo from somebody up the road somewhere. So he decided that he's going to clean it all up so nobody could access, and there would be no, nobody could hide down there. So he went to go clean it up, and this is the funny part, is that, and this is our prelude to the song, that he was told by actually after he passed away, we were told by the Department of Land and Natural Resources that you cannot just clean up a property, your own property. You have to, I guess, for something as large as this, 12 and a half acres, you have to go and get landscaping permit.
Wow.
And we were quite shocked. Landscaping permit? We're not landscaping. We're simply cleaning. But that was their rule. So what happened was, So when they cleaned it up, when my dad guys cleaned it up, and the other issue comes a little later on, there was a little party. So Mama folks created a little, get together, and I said, I got to take something home to my parents. I really have to. I don't know what to do. And I was taking Aloha Hawaii classes, and then I said, I'm gonna try my hand at a Mele. Let's see what that looks like. And so I just started, and I don't know what came first. Usually the word's supposed to come first, but I kind of put two together, and it was to honor not only my mom, but because she's named after my grandma. So the word Ululani is for my grandma, but that's my mom too. And then her mother, Ululani's mother, her name is Kuʻaihelani. So grandma was the one that raised my mom folks on the property. So anyway, I took this song home to gift it to the family. And it was my very first mele that I wrote. And then after that, my dad wrote a mele, and we can talk about that later. But I'll do this one first. So the name of the property is Ale Amai, but that area that we talk about is Kihapai. And it's where all the wonderful growth of food and flowers continue to exist today. Ia I kanani o awawaloa ka aina ulu vehi o ale amai. He aina nani oe kukila kila me ke ala o nauna na pakalana. He hiwa hiwa no na kupuna o kuʻaihelani a o ululani o kuʻaihelani o ia ka mea nui ka mahalo ia ululani. Ka wai anu hea o wai kulu mea e inu I ka wai hui hui. O ka home mai ka I hui pui a ka ʻohana like e haa he o nei ua mauli no. He hiwa hiwa no na kupuna o kuʻaihelani a o ululani o kuʻaihelani o ia ka mea nui ka mahalo ia ululani. E ia ka puana a ilohe ia he mele wahi aloha o ale amai. E ia ka puana a ilohe ia he mele wahi aloha o ale amai. O ale amai. O ale amai. Mahalo. Thank you, mahalo. I'm so shy. Yeah, so and then my dad actually wrote one a little bit later than me, and then the next person who wrote was Pōkea. wrote one for the Aina. Yeah. And as I was sharing about these permits that you need to clean your land. So that's crazy, is right. So what happened was we were fined for cleaning. My dad had already passed, and my cousin and us, we got these notices from the DLNR that they were going to charge us over $30,000 for not having permits.
That's your own land, bud.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So what we did was we went and we went to a hearing, and we told them what, this is our Aina, and there are 3 Mele for this Aina, because I called Puakea, asked him to go with me and with my mom, and he brought up the topic about, this is Mele Vahipana. This is what we do. And after hearing the case, the hearing officer threw the case out, and she said, this is what Hawaiians do.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? So mahalo to sister for, recognizing. And I think it's important for people to know, because that's everywhere. Our lands have songs for them on all islands. So I really believe and think that Mele is truly an indication that there's no argument. If there's a Mele written for the Aina, that should be in the hands of the people, the Native Hawaiian people. That's their Mele. That's their Aina. So hopefully this brings, flashes the light.
Yeah.
Where's the Mele? Start writing the Mele for the Aina. And there's many for land throughout Hawaii. So
That's so wow. So you folks for the Hawaiian Music Perpetuation Society, you folks have just started this new hale. You've just moved here,
yes.
right? So where were you before, and then when did you come here to this new hale?
So prior to being here, we were at Puʻalelani in Waikiki. We were at the Ho'okela Hawaiian Heritage Center. And Aunty Kuʻuipo was the director of Hawaiian Culture and Community Relations. And the work is so much. The kuleana is great. And she recognized that she still only has 2 hands. As wonderful as she is, still only get 2 hands. And so she brought us in as the nonprofit community-based organization to teach the visitors, and it worked out wonderfully. We were open 5 days a week, from 7 to 3, and did about 14 classes, I think 12 to 14 classes a day. Like 30-minute intervals. Wow. And all kinds. And what we did do too was we brought in practitioners. So we have an Auntie Caroline. Right. She would come in and she did Ulana Lauhala. We would do Leila'i. I think there was one time that we didn't have enough leaves. So Auntie went out and you harvested, was it palapalai? Or did you do palapalai? Because there were some plants on property at that time. And I think and it was a small group. There was like 2 people, and I think you went out and you actually took them with you, and you harvested.
Because we had palapalai downstairs.
We had palapalai downstairs. Tili would have taken a little longer, but because you got a microwave them. But you took them downstairs and you were telling them the story, and it was so beautiful, and they just lit up. We were there for about 3 years. And we established a sign-in process right after COVID for our tracking, right? We got to make sure you have contact. Yes. And after that, we did a digital sign-in, and we would host upwards of 1,000 people a month. Wow. And they come from all around the world. And that doesn't include special groups, special interest groups. So we've had colleges, Hope College from the continent would come twice a semester, and the teacher was teaching a class on the impact that tourism has on indigenous people. And so we had a chance to share our culture. And what is so beautiful, people will say, well, there's that... Hawaiian, what you doing in Waikiki? But Waikiki is ours. I love when Auntie shares that. And she does play still music in Waikiki. And Waikiki is ours. And our ali'i lived there. They played there, right? That was their playground. And they knew what they were doing. I mean, it was a beautiful place. And so us being there is important. It is our kuleana to tell the story.
Yes.
Otherwise, if it's not us, then somebody else who is not connected to the land or only connected by a paycheck and a script was reading something that there's no, where is that pilina? So that is our kuleana. And if they have wrong information, that's on us, right? It's up to us to tell. That's our story to tell. So we took that responsibility very seriously, and we met plenty. Kanaka would come to this, Waikiki. But wait, hang on. You gotta come. You need to be here. You know, Waikiki is beautiful. Yes, it's kind of, there's people that come from all around the world, but there's history here. You get to know the different land areas. So, and that was something that Auntie was instrumental in helping us to understand. Don't learn Waikiki by the name of the building that's on the land, because those come and go. But learn about the land area. Learn the name for the land area. And that drives that home. So we were there until June of last year.
Yes.
Then when we left, things kind of had to change. We had to shift. That was our primary program at the time. And so we're looking at other ways. And then I learned how to write a grant. And I was like, ooh.
Good for you.
Again, right? Throw me the water. Just go.
So we got your doctor's degree. I signed it.
So I grabbed my scuba gear and I went, and we started writing grants. So we have a few programs under our belt. Worked with Department of Health, doing Native Hawaiian women's health fairs. And we started on Oʻahu, and then we did one here, and then we did 2 on Hawaii Island that we just wrapped up last month. And we have our next round will be in Kauai.
Nice.
So yeah, we're excited about that. And then that was for Department of Health. Then we have HTA grants that take us back into Waikiki. This year, we've got 2. We were the only ones in their Ho'okipa Malihini initiative that's specifically designed. Those are grants designed specifically for resort area type places. And so we're doing Waikiki by Moonlight, which is select Mondays. And then we're also doing hot kupuna nights.
Ooh.
And that is usually the response we get when we say hot kupuna nights.
You gotta tell them how the word hot kupuna nights.
Oh, you tell that story.
No, you tell.
Oh, okay. Check it out now. Okay, so we did a program while we were at Pu'alelani called Na Kupuna Nights. And this was a monthly program highlighting the kupuna of Mele, Hawaii. And this was actually right on the heels of us just opening up after COVID. By the way, Waikiki was beautiful during COVID.
So empty.
Right?
Wait, the fish.
They all came
my
back.
gosh.
In balls, the big balls were coming in. It was like
Inside
wow.
the brick wall.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I said, I
Stood
can
in the
do that.
middle
Can
of
we shut this
Kalakaua.
down like once a month or something?
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
I stood in the middle of Kalakaua. I was looking,
No more traffic?
not traffic. So the hotel opened again, I believe it was October 2020. And then in March, May, I think it was maybe. Okay, somewhere in there. It was started with an M, so one of the two. We had Na Kupuna Nights. And this idea came because one day, Auntie was sitting in the lobby area of Pu'alelani, on the second floor, looking out to the ocean right at the Kapai Mahu stones across the street. And when I came in, I said, how are you doing? She said, okay, good. She goes, you know what? We need to do something for our kupuna. We have to take care of our kupuna. I said, okay. Well, and it's kind of like how every idea starts. So I was like, okay. I said, okay, what do you want to do? She says, I don't know. We got to get them back into Waikiki. I said, okay. So she said, let's go do Na Kupuna Nights. I said, okay, tell me about it. She said, this was a program that was started in the 50s at the Moana Hotel. And it was a huge hit. So they would be outside, right? Could you explain?
Yeah, so what I was told, it would be outside under the banyan tree where Hawaii Calls was airing. And Aunty Lemomiho was the little girl on the swing off that big banyan tree. And then it would be filled with people to, entertainers, as well as, the Kama'aina would come into Waikiki and just enjoy all this Hawaiian music. It was just not geared for the tourism, but it was geared for everybody to come and partake. And so that had been gone since the 50s or early 60s. So I said, let's go do it. Let's go do it. Let's bring the kupuna back. Our kupuna need to come back to Waikiki. So go ahead.
So
Wait, and back to you.
mahalo kuya.
You're very welcome.
I have to work on my radio voice. So we immediately, Auntie said, let's get on the phone with the chef. And she said, gotta be Hawaiian food. And he said, okay. So we worked on a menu. Auntie approved the menu, was on a Hawaiian food, big plate. And we said, okay, so how much tickets? And I think at the time he started off, and again, this is first time back in, right? So I think he said $41. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal.
That's
So I was
a
like,
good
okay,
deal.
$41. And they get all this Ono Hawaiian food. So we said, okay, how we going to do this? She goes, I don't know. We just get on the phone. We start calling people. Auntie has great connections, unreal connections. So she immediately, civic clubs, all the kupuna in the homesteads, all these... We just started calling everybody that she knew. All these and she was doing the phone. She was doing the calls, and they gave the number at the office. We would go home. The next day I come in, the light blinking, and it says you have 42 messages. I was like, oh, okay. So one at a time, I listen. Professional secretary, so I listen. Wait, I didn't hit rewind. What was that again? Take down the information, call them up one at a time, and calling everybody. So. Hotel said, well, we'll give you the space upstairs on the pool deck. 50 people. You think you folks can? And we said, oh, we don't know. We don't know what could happen. Again, COVID. So people are, of course, conscientious, a little bit, still concerned, but tired of being locked up already. Right? So, and still, doing the whole 3 feet. I forget what the rule was, something like that. And so I was doing phone calls that. By the second day, we already had 80 people.
Wow.
And then I told the chef, I said, okay, we're at 80. He goes, okay. And I said, but I didn't finish making all my calls yet. And he said, well, all right. Let me know where you land. And I said, okay. 20 minutes later, we're at 100. And then an hour later, we're at 120. He goes, okay, Jeninne, you got to slow down a little bit. We hit 150. And he goes, that's it, max. Can I fit nobody else upstairs? We have like no room. I said, okay, 150. Okay, good. So we stopped there. So day comes, we're expecting 150 people. When you're in a hotel, you're used to all that transient traffic, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Choke different type energy, right? Okay, so we're outside of our little 300 square foot office of Ho'okela, and I walk outside of the door, and something just washes over me, and I had to stop, and I was like, what is going on? What is this? What is this feeling? It feels different, and I was like, okay. When you walk out from this space, there is a cutout on the second floor that looks down onto the first floor, so you can see traffic passing by. And I looked over and I see like about 6 kupuna. They walk past underneath with their beautiful mu'u, their lepo'o, their papale. I was like, I started crying. Oh my goodness, that's what it is.
Exactly.
They're here. And you could feel them.
Wow.
It was such a beautiful feeling. So we and I talked to every one of them. So that first night that we were there, amazing. It was so beautiful. Every table was filled, had the big rounds. All the tables were filled. The opening act was 3 generations of music makers. Auntie Vehilani Ching, whom you played with decades before. Uncle Bernard Kalua, that's her son-in-law. And then his daughter, Heather Kalua. So the 3 were on stage. And I gotta say, this is what I've learned many things from Auntie. One of the main things I've learned is how to weave that lei. She's so intentional with what happens. So this was showing the generations of music makers.
Yeah.
So they started off the evening, and then after them we had Kalepapahi o Kakuhiheva from the University of Hawaii, and they came up and they performed. Unreal. It was so moving, and it was right at sunset, and that space right across the street from Kuhio Beach, gorgeous, right? All the kanaka, and people were just loving on each other and having such a wonderful time. And I spent half the evening on the bridgeway having to explain to guests of the hotel why they were not invited. And I told them, I'm so sorry. They said, if we would have known, I said, you know what you can do though, is please let the hotel know that you're interested, because they may not know. And they said, how could they not? This is fabulous. This is where we want to be. So I guess a few of them took me up on that. The next month we had the event. The hotel says, we want to invite hotel guests. I said, oh, absolutely. 30% of the people that showed up the next month were hotel guests.
Oh, nice.
Now, this is what would happen. At that time when they came, didn't have, they had luau, but remember, they started $100-something a ticket, almost $200 a ticket. And on top of that, sold out through October. So people thought they could just come to Hawaii and book a luau.
Right.
No such thing. So we told the hotel, yeah, if you want to. Word got out. We had people coming from the Kahala Hotel, from Trump Tower, from Hawaiʻi Kai, Hilton, Sheraton, all over. And they were bussing in to come to the show. So the name of this show was called Pa'ina o Waikiki Hula. It's not a luau. It's a pa'ina.
Right.
And there's a difference. And I think recently now people are starting to pick up on that. And Auntie created the show. And it was beautiful. We had dancers at the beginning we had Halau Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then we had after that we had some other dancers that came in. But it was a wonderful show. That's the Pa'ina show. I'm sorry, I'm losing. We had two shows. So Na Kupuna Nights, the second show we did the next month was Auntie Darlene Ahuna. And it was amazing again. And I love that one. Aunty Kuʻuipo opened. And she went through the audience and called out every table. We had kumuhula and their halau, and kumuhula their halau, or this person and that ʻohana. And she knew them by name. And she would call. She said, look who we have here. And they would stand up. They would hula.
I love
was
that.
beautiful.
I love that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And people were crying, laughing. Auntie Myrna Kamai. Uncle Eddie had already passed, and Auntie Myrna Kamai came up to us after, and she grabbed our hands and she said, I feel like I'm home. And I was like, thank you so much. And we had so much responses like that from the people that came. And then, interesting, the hotel guests that did come, the ones that they called and they said, is this like a luau? And I said, well, have you been to one? No. I said, okay, well, Na Kupuna Nights is what you would get if I invited you to my house for dinner. Right. And they said, we want that. So, okay. And they just want to be among us.
Yeah.
If Aloha is not in the air, it's in the people. So they want to be around the people, right? And we're the ones. This is what we share. So they came, and I tell you, and it was a teaching opportunity because I had some that had, libations, and then standing next to me, and I think Kumu Sarah
Quick. Kiahi.
Kumu Sarah Kiahi was, she was dancing on stage, and then I had a gentleman come up to me and say, he's like, wow, this is really fun. I'm having a blast. This is good fun. And he says, come on, will you dance with me? I said, this is not that. This is where, I said, do you see the kupuna on the stage? This is where we honor her and watch her. She's telling the story. And let's go sit down and let's share this story.
She tries to step out of it.
But again, it's a teaching opportunity. And this is not that. Yeah, right. So the good thing is we, sometimes we get all upset at them because, visitors is like, how come you guys don't know? But if they don't know because nobody told them.
Yeah, because they don't know.
I think they come here, they're in the dark. They see the brochures, but they're still in the dark. They have no clue. It's just a marketing ploy, right?
Right.
But what is sad is there's so much of this available, but it's not tapped into because your management people are not from here. So they only visualize what they know from the continent experience. But they don't know what's here. But a lot of them will take up on it, but there's this thing about, of course, it's the money, but there's this thing about, oh, we don't have to. We just, we're just going to do, this is Hawaii. So we know how, I'm sorry. We're not like any other place on earth.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We are very special in Hawaii.
Yes.
And I don't think they know that.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps they're not humble enough to understand what's available for them,
Right.
And I think do I hear a committee here?
Oh no, wait! It's a
Committee of 5
sounds.
to be, some change.
We'll be right back after these special messages.
Okay, we're back now. We like to pick up where we ended up. No, but do you see what this is going? There's this image of Hawaii, and then there's a reality of Hawaii, and somehow the continent people don't pick up on that. I don't know if they're uncomfortable because maybe they think they don't fit in, because this is all they've known, all the just the material things or the marketing aspects of Hawaii, and they're afraid of the reality of Hawaii. Maybe because they don't know, and they don't know how to manage it or guide it through, and they'd have to depend on the Hawaiian people or the local people to come in and share that. And I don't know. There's something really missing. It's not firing as it's supposed to.
And when we did these events, I think that gave us a first-hand look.
Yes,
and it was an opportunity for the hotel to see, people really are interested in Hawaii.
Yeah,
they really want to know, and I think it also gave them a chance to. And the thing is, we always created that space, a safe space where they free to ask questions. And at the center, that was what we tried to convey. It's this, there are no questions. You're not going to offend us. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation, because how else are you going to learn? And if like people, human nature, we tend to be afraid or maybe closed off at the things that we don't understand. So we open the door. We fly the door open. Come inside. Let's talk story. And this place here that we're at now, this is the Lokomaikai Hawaii Heritage Center in honor of King Lunalilo. We're on his property. And this is going to turn into that place where it's welcome you into our home and come and see. We're going to talk about our opuali'i. We're going to share the stories of Hawaii, and we're going to have music playing through the house. So we're so excited. We're so happy to have you here. This is our first official event here. And couldn't have been anywhere else. So, Aloha it inspires us to do so many wonderful things. So thank you.
Wow.
Well, you both have done so many amazing things. You're teaching, you're sharing the culture, you've done amazing events. We had the privilege, Amy and I, to go to Mali'o.
Oh, yes.
And that beautiful event, and just these women that are so talented, and from the young ones to the OGs, I should say. It was just such a beautiful experience.
The OGs. The other way.
That's right. Now,
Really, Mary?
You just are the OG.
Okay, OG stands for all good.
All good.
That's right.
That's right.
all good.
All good.
I make it what I want to.
But from all of those things that you've done in the very short time that you've been doing this, what was your most memorable or favorite of the events that you've done?
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one because it's all good. It was all very good. I am so thankful to Keakua for providing these opportunities, because we learn from these spaces, and we learn, and it's kind of like when you learn how to fish. Where to go at what tide, and where's the wind coming from, and what season is this, what moon is up there today. So we're not fishing blindly. It's all been a wonderful experience. I cannot choose one. It's very difficult.
I would say probably the most profound was that one at Pu'alelani, when I felt the kanaka before I even saw them. And it was so beautiful. It was, and no words, and it's almost like cannot have words, because it's just it's sweet in that quiet space, and you just let it get to you and let it, and be vulnerable, let it come, let it just soak it in. And it was, to me, that was amazing. And then ever since then, when we have events and people come, it's that wonderful ano, it's crazy putting things together, but to me, when the event is once the event happens, I can relax. So at Mali'o, I walked all around the back of the theater, and then I went upstairs on the second floor, and I found a seat, and I just sat and I listened. I was like, oh, it's so, I love that. After all the work is done, and now I get to hand it off. Somebody else got to make sure they're on stage at the right time. But I can go sit and listen. It's like, oh, canopy, that's beautiful. And then talking to the people that are there, and learning about their experience. How did you enjoy that? And we've known Amy for has it been a couple years already?
More.
Nah,
It
really?
has been a long time.
It feels like
3 years.
Yeah. It's been a few years.
And we've had experience with you bringing your students in and getting to share with them, and that's, priceless. I think I agree. Hard to top, because every there's beauty in everything that we've done. We've had so many really special experiences. And
when you talk about looking over from the second floor down and seeing the kupuna with their lepo'o and their papale, and I think they're here now, but I believe that our ancestors were there too, as you were doing your that gathering, that paina for everyone.
Yes.
Chicken skin. So
Yeah.
chicken
Yeah.
skin.
Oh, me too.
Beautiful space.
I think sometimes, it is always an honor. When we started this organization, many people thought, they would ask us, what makes you folks different? How come, get plenty of nonprofits out there, and lots that are doing something that has to do with music. What makes you folks different? And I think for us, our immediate response is we revere our kupuna, and they all have a seat at the table. And it's not for show. We are listening. We want to hear what they have to say, and they are important, and we want them to be in the va'a with us. So they're right there, and we paddle, and they have just as much fun, probably more fun than we do. We've had some wonderful stories with our kupuna. That's a big one. And another thing, I think the other part of that is, the second thing I think that makes us a little bit different is, Aunty Kuʻuipo, she has her share of Nahoku Hano awards. And it's really interesting because we went to go help her clean the house one time, and I see him in a box somewhere, and I was like, I said, wait, is this the one? This is the thing? Yeah. But it's not to say that it isn't important, but what with Auntie, when she tells the story, it's about that kuleana immediately. It's not just, oh, look at me. And I think that is akin to our opuali'i. They didn't walk around saying, look at me. Yeah. There's like, I got the nation on my shoulders. I have kuleana, and they're thinking 7 generations ahead. Auntie was thinking, okay, now that I've got this, I have kuleana. I need to make sure that I'm sharing this with others. So for us, we talk about, I grew up playing sports my whole life. That was my dad, my connection with my father. And, so I know what it is to compete and to be competitive. But I felt that when it comes to music, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem like something that we should be competing with amongst each other, but rather celebrating each other, right? Singing together, that feeling of sewing the lei and bringing everyone together and having wonderful, especially for somebody who's has trouble finding whatever note everybody else is supposed to be. Because you know,
Nice way to say it.
so I sing in notes that haven't yet been discovered. That is my claim to fame. And I have, by the way, I have a whole choir of people. Every time I say that, I have other people raising their hand. Me too, me too. I was like, thank you. We're gonna make our own choir. I know they're gonna kick us out, but that's okay. We're gonna all stay together, and we'll make our own sound. But you know, I feel like we should be celebrating it together. And this is not to take away from the accolades that are earned, but sometimes competition has its place, and I know it does raise the bar. But sometimes it brings out a different ano. Yeah. And so our thing is, what is your why? We've had people. We had the privilege of speaking with Aunty Ropi Kahakalau. I think she was teaching a class at a college, and she brought in Uncle Moon, or was it Moon?
I forget. Yeah.
And one of her students, so proud, raised his hand. He says, yes, you have a question. He says, yes, what's the recipe for winning a Nahoku Hano Hano award? And he goes, and then Auntie Rob was like, oh my gosh. And he said, there's no recipe. There's no recipe. And I feel like if that is your why, then you're going to go about it a certain way.
Yeah.
And okay, I you know, no judgment. We chosen to not make it a competition. We wanted it to be a celebration. And I think that once you take away that, oh, I gotta be this good, I gotta sing like this, I gotta do like this, I gotta make like this, I gotta. How about I get to?
Yes.
I have it's a privilege,
Yes.
right? Because we are bringing the kupuna's voice here. All of the they penned these songs so long. Some that were penned so long ago. We breathe life into it every time we sing, and we keep that story alive. And that's what I love about what Aunty Kuʻuipo does. She does it so well. So I get to talk, and so my job as the executive director is I do the talking, as you can tell.
You're very good at
Thank
it.
you so much. Thank you. Autographs later. But you know, I do the. She comes up with the wonderful ideas. As our creative director, she has so many wonderful ideas. So my job is to figure out, how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen without wonderful, wonderful people coming alongside of us and being supportive and mahalo and being jumping on board with us, and so very humbled and grateful. We just added 2 more members to our board, and we've got a couple more folks coming on, and it's humbling. It's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. You know, such a small team, very lean, and but the hearts are there, and people are, the wonderful people they come. And so as we're traveling along this lane, you know, we have some people that come in, are like, just like our garden, right? Just like our garden of people, you have some that are in it for the long haul. You have some that are in for a season, you know, and we're grateful for all of that. And it's our job to make sure that we continue to share the mele. And I tell you, Auntie keeps us on our toes. The famous words are, I got an idea. I'm like, oh, okay, let's hear it.
It's like popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn all over again. That's right. With the furkaki and the kakimochi. I'm like, okay. Let's see. All right. With 24 hours in a day, cannot be. We'll go find 26. But so exciting and such a privilege. And the whole idea is we too are looking generations ahead. HMPS needs to outlive all of us, and we believe that, you know, that by continue to share our story and the story of our kupuna and the mele, that they will come. The kids are gonna come, and you know, we've heard, you know, but they like the boom chicka boom, you know, that music, and you know, and Auntie's like, but you know, and it's interesting because it speaks to them, and I just had a conversation with somebody today. I was like, you know, it's kind of that nature nurture, chicken egg. You know, is it the music that shapes the behavior, or is it the behavior that molds, that creates the music? And Auntie brought up a really good point. She says, you know, but that's not Hawaiian. Hawaiian is not angry. It's not forceful. It's gentle. And when you think of love, you think of soft, right? Soft and gentle and nurturing and inviting and welcoming. And I think what has happened, maybe in music, popular music, love has taken on a whole nother aspect, a whole nother thing, with the boom chicka boom, and then hearing love. And it's like, okay, so love is angry, love is hard, love is forceful, but that's not love. So it's Auntie, I really enjoyed, we have great discussions, and I always play the devil's advocate. Because I say, okay, it cannot always only be this way. Let's say look at the different perspectives. I like to move around stuff because it's so easy to get caught up in this is it, this is what it's gonna be. And I granted there are certain things, unwavering, that's fine. But I want to challenge us to think, maybe is it possible that, well, first of all, innovation happens. Cultures change over time. Language evolves over time. For sure, environment, changes. So how does that affect, the music? And we want the kids to pen mele. And I live in a concrete jungle. So I look outside and I have building. And if I look up a little bit, I see sky. And then Auntie, again, grew up Papaiko in Hilo, where it's all grass and beautiful, and the land. And she goes, see, kids need this. I said, yeah, but if we don't have that, what do they relate to? What are they? And she brought up a good point. Buildings are hard. They're edgy. They're right. And so that's the kind of music maybe that is born from that space. If it promotes a positive behavior, we get it. But when we're talking about getting back to the land, touching the land, removing distractions, and seeing what is there, maybe looking through different eyes, it could hopefully lead to a different mele being written. They would have a different song, and perhaps a soft and gentle and embracing and loving song. And we know not all kids come from that kind of background. Not all our kids, and that could be completely foreign to some. It doesn't make it wrong, but we want them to recognize that love is not angry. Aloha is not forceful, right? It is gentle. It is nurturing. It's beautiful, and it doesn't have to be forced or yelled like at luau.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's anti-story.
Why? When you go to, I tell the visitors when I'm in Waikiki, the word aloha is not to be yelled at or from. You don't yell that word, because if you know the definitions of aloha, to yell it out negates all the definition. And why are we yelling it? But why? It makes no sense. But to your point about the mele, and when things are edgy, would be easy to get rid of the edge. Yeah, the kids can be a part of the aina. And I get all the schools trying to do the Aloha Aina programming, working in the fields, working in the kalo or the fish ponds. But it has to be 24/7, meaning that when you leave there, you go home, that continues, that spirit continues. Yeah, you cannot go from that and then you go right into, watching news.
Right.
And then you start hearing the head banging, boom, yeah, aloha, oh yeah, aloha, yeah, bro, we gotta get the... No. It doesn't work. It's counterproductive. And my conspiracy theories are always like, they do it like that to break us apart. To break our communities. It's not just Hawaiian. It's all of our cultural groups, Japanese, Chinese, Filipinos. We all grew up in a way that we were a community. We ate each other's food because grandma Japanese going call us over there for come eat sushi, but and then auntie over there, the Chinese auntie with come baby, come eat, and then we go home with chasiu. You know, where is that anymore?
Right. Yeah.
So, given those aspects, and then looking at how Hawaiian music is delivered, I just realized that many a times, of course, the music comes second. It's the language that comes first. And so it prescribes what the music should be like. So if you found a word for gentleness and it's not your regular word, and sometimes there's deeper meanings to other words that you would use for that one space, when you compose the music, you don't put a hard note over there, or you don't yell it out. You sing it soft. So, you know, we talk about composers. So this year, the dollar is on Kawena Pukui, right? What a poet. I mean, oh my gosh, her music is unbelievable, but she didn't write the music. She wrote the poetry. She went to Maddie Lamb to write the music. And then Maddie Lamb, who was also a Maunalua. So these guys all spoke Hawaiian. She was able, with her music knowledge, to lend that lilting through the music to those words. So when you hear things like me oe ka'anoi e ka'ahihi, you are the desire, you beautiful ahihi. We don't know who she was talking about, but she's likening that person to the ahihi, whether male or female, right? But where does the ahihi grow? It grows up on the top of that pu'u, that pinnacle, as you're coming up the pali into the second tunnel. She's standing right up there, lani huli, to turn towards the heavens. Okay? And the ahihi is up there. So not easy to get, not easy to attain. And the words me oi, with you. I'm not going to write you one song that I don't love you, and then I'm going to say, with you as that would be insincere, right? So think about how they composed it, what they were thinking of, who they were thinking of, what they were measuring their love by, or creating those beautiful spaces. And then the composer for the music comes in and says, okay, now I'm going to finish the picture. So a lot of times we hear things like me o e ka'anoi e ka'ahi. Again, the delivery is very edgy. But really they intended it to be me o e ka'anoi e ka'ahi, which is what it's intended to be. But if you never grew up in that space, you would never understand why that was connected. But if you allow the voice of the words to tell you how to sing, you would understand it. But that's a whole nother level of spirituality.
Oh, drop the mic right there, man.
Think about it. Think about how you allowed a song to talk to you. And the song is telling you, okay, Amy, I'm depending on you to deliver me correctly, because the person I need to get to is being called for by the one who's composing the song. So guess what? You got to forget about you. Never mind about you. It's not about you. Right. You got to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And are people safe in feeling vulnerable? To be able to deliver that. So it's not about me no more. It's about for whom they have written. We take ourselves out of it to deliver properly. Not easy.
Wow.
Beautiful.
It's a whole nother level of consciousness, of spirituality, of connectedness. Where did that go? We are so bombarded with overgrowth of, cement. Our kids have no chance unless we harness them into a place where they can feel, hear, touch, smell, taste the land, the wind, the rain. Oh, do I feel a project?
So
Yes.
I was thinking about the young artists that performed at Malio, and then so I mean they're like what, in their 20s, super young, yeah. Some of
The
those
young ones.
ladies were,
And even the keiki.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, right, right. So how do you mentor them?
From the beginning. That's all I can say is you got to get them to be with you. If you're carrying that awamo, that kuleana to teach them, somehow we got to figure out a way to get them into our hale and feed them. Yeah, feed them all the things we know. Otherwise, it'll be lost forever. It would be truly lost in time.
I think it's a culture, you know,
Yeah.
it's helping them to see that the world isn't only what they see. There's more to it. And they're,
true. That's I like that. That's true.
yeah, because they, you know, and you know, it blows me away when we think about it. You know, as children, every day is something new, right? It's like, wow, look at this world, and they're learning about their world. Nothing is concrete yet. So when we get to our age, there's certain things that don't surprise us too much. It's harder to surprise us, but for them, every day is brand new.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So shaping the lives, and we've had this discussion too, because I don't want it to be doom and gloom. This is not doom and gloom. There's always hope.
Yes.
And I truly believe that, and Auntie said this before, that the music calls people, and when they allow themselves to be called, and they answer that call, then it's a for those that are sensitive enough and vulnerable enough, it will start to permeate, and they'll experience life kind of different from what they're used to. And some children find music, that's their way of communicating. We were just with our curriculum designers. We did a PD on Kauai, and one Aloke was telling us a story. Her dear friend has an autistic son, and nonverbal, and so she was tuning her guitar, and as she tuned, he came over and he strummed the guitar. And then he looked, he strummed, and then he put his face against the body. And she looked, she goes, "What you doing?" And then he did it again, and he put his face, and then she started playing a song for him. And he sat there and he just listened. And then when she paused, she started to stand up, and he grabbed her hand and he put it back on the strings.
Oh,
You know, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's healing in Mele. And as I has shared, you know, we are focused on education, community, and health. And there, in that health aspect, the healing that comes through Mele, I had shared a little bit. For me, it means safety. For some, it's a way that they communicate, right? And a good exercise that Loke was just sharing with folks is start to ask kids, you know, all of us, when we wake up in the morning, we usually have a Mele in our mind.
yeah.
It's not always Hawaiian. It's not always happy. Sometimes it's, you know, kind of melancholy. It kind of depends what mood you're in. But you wake up with a song. Pay attention to that. It's kind of interesting. What song did I wake up? And sometimes I wake up with a song in my head that I haven't heard since I was a kid. I've woken up with the Sesame Street theme song in my head. I'm like, where did that come from? But it's just and it's something really interesting. So to even ask a child, you know, what song did you wake up to? And it'd be interesting to see what was in their mind, and then it kind of gives you an idea of maybe where they're at that point. You know, what's kind of going on.
And then I had a mama that woke me up by playing music. She would always put the Halekulani Girls on the record, and that's how she woke me up.
Oh.
So I would get myself ready, and I listen to Hawaiian music, getting ready to go to school. And so till today, I wake up with the Halekulani Girls.
It's her alarm. It's my alarm.
That's so nice.
You know,
I love it. You know, one thing that I love about both of you is that you just perpetuate aloha just by your being. Like when we came into the hale, like I said to you guys, oh, there's such good energy here, you know, and the way you talk and you describe what aloha means to you, it just resonates on so many levels. And we're really honored to be in this space and to share these types of conversations with you. And not to put you on the spot, Auntie, but I was wondering, like, when you think of the word aloha and what it means to you, what mele comes to mind for you, would you say?
all of the above.
I know, right? Hard to pick, right? Like, yeah.
And that's why I do it, because it keeps me close to my parents.
Yes.
That's my why, you know. So every time, you know, I there's a mele, it's my daddy. It's his olelo Hawaii. So, you know, I don't put it aside, because I miss my parents. You know, I remember the things that I was taught. Yeah. So that's why. So what was your question again?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I forgot. Well, I know. Like when you think about aloha, because aloha is
aloha,
so
okay.
robust, so rich. It's like it is the foundation of our culture. Like you said, Hawaii is special. This is where it originates from. And like, is there a mele to you that kind of encompasses that feeling of aloha?
And it's all, because it's the people who wrote it, it's the people who created the music part to it, it's for whom they wrote it, it's why we're still doing what we do today. And you know, aloha is love. It's the giving of oneself, again, the vulnerability to give of yourself without any thought of return.
Yeah.
And I mean thought. Don't even think about it. When you give it, you give it. My mother always said, you give something, you give it. It's power.
Yeah, my dad said it.
Yeah, he would always, right? So there's something to that. You know, if you're going to give, if somebody needs to borrow $100, you give them.
It's power.
It's power.
Yeah.
It's gone. Because contention begins once you expect something. Yeah.
That's good.
Expectation brings on contention. So how's about we just raise people up and go with what they're good at and build them from that place forward.
Like how your mama did with you,
I
right?
guess, yeah. And you know, I gotta say that I worked with adults with intellectual developmental disabilities, and I'll say this here and now, and I was really tired of being checked on by the state social workers, or you know, having to do like IEPs and having the meeting, and you know, did John do this, brush his teeth in 4 verbal cues, or you know, if it was 5 or 6, well, we have to have him do it for another 3 years too. Why is it not all right that he just brushed his teeth? What are you looking for, you know? So I remember when I was working at the ARC, and this was happening, and I got to this place where, no, you know what? Wait, I'm gonna get out of the. And my boss is good. She put me into a place where I had freedom, and I said, okay, I'm gonna build a music program for the clients. And so once a week we'd have these get-togethers, and I'd have a mic up in the front, and I said, okay, y'all need to come up here. If you want to sing, we're going to go in order. If you want to come up here and sing, you have to say your name. And probably some of them cannot talk. But you know what? Proudly, they stand up and they walk to the microphone and they try to say their name. And I don't care if we sang You Are My Sunshine for 25 times. We're going to sing them, because that's the song you want.
That's right.
Okay? So they would come up and they would introduce their song. Hi, my name is John. I'm going to sing You Are My Sunshine. Okay, we go. Start playing them, and he's got them. Now he's like, You Are My Sunshine. Right after that, he goes back to his center, and then he get behavior issues. How's about giving him something he likes? And so I created this music group, and I wrote a song for the organization, and I took them to the recording studio down at Honolulu Community College. I took them there, and then I took them over to the one at Hawaiʻi Kai, and I said, Gaylord, you got to help me. You got to clean this thing up for me. My clients, all these guys that get behaviors, not a single behavior. They're standing in the studio. They get their headsets on, and they get the microphone, and they just stood there. And when it was time to sing, the Ark in Hawaii, we serve folks with special needs. Boom, they're singing like nobody's business, and they're feeling proud that they can do this. You just take them with what they have, and you build them from that point forward.
Well, you saw them. Yeah, you saw them and their potential.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and what they
There's
could
no
be
other way to see them.
versus how other people saw them.
We're always, we're looking at them with all this negative. Oh, they not can. Well, let's take it from where they're at and move them forward. Let's go from there.
Yeah.
And I know I get it, because people feel that they're restricted by the rules of the education system or the rules of the Department of Health. But if we just put those things aside and take them from where the person is at and move the dial, because that's what they like, success would be had 10 times more than what we see today. Success in building confidence in people, giving them knowledge and the yearning to, I like do this. I'm going to do this. Hey, Kumu, how we do this? Bruh, bring them here. Let's take a look. What you think? Give them a say. And then guide them. It's the way we build each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Aloha.
That is Aloha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, long answer.
No.
A short question.
Yeah. That is fantastic. Wow.
But this has been fabulous. I feel a committee of some sort coming up.
You didn't think you were just coming here for
I can just see it all painted up there. But thank you, mahalo.
Write that down.
Go write them down. Go write them down. Go write them. Go.
But I gotta say, Aunty Kuʻuipo, she's a wonderful kumu. We've had great discussions, and what I appreciate about her is that, as her haumana, I get to ask her questions, and we'll be at sitting down. I was like, okay, so what about this? What you think about this? And I get to hear her perspective, and thankfully, she's unlike some of the. I learn more from her because we have discussion. Right. We get to talk. It's not this because of this, and because I'm a why person. I gotta understand why. I gotta understand why. So why is it like this? And okay, why? I have all kind of whys, and so she's like, well. I think a couple of times I got the why do you think? And I go, okay, that's a good one. And then I go, well, I think because this, and this. And she goes, exactly. And I go, oh, okay. Well, what about this, and she goes, well, what about this? And I, okay. So I love that, it stretches my, even getting me outside of my comfort zone and helping me to understand things a little bit differently. When it comes to music and the importance of us perpetuating Mele Hawaii, it's important to retain the past, the Mele of our kupuna, and to honor them in sharing it, and then taking that information and helping folks that want to haku Mele to really understand, first of all, what's your why? Is it to share your story? Is it to honor your ʻohana? Is it to reach someone? Or is it to honor someone, a loved one? Or to commemorate an event? What is your why? And then let that guide you and put your heart into it. Like Auntie said, be vulnerable and let yourself just go. Let your thoughts go. And the hardest thing, I think, is to really remove distraction. So when Auntie is going to haku Mele, she needs to go away. And the best place to do it is at home, where the internet is a little spotty, and it's and that's okay. Cause still get pen and paper, and just to sit and be and get the roosters crowing, get the dogs barking, get all kind of different. But it all contributes, and it gets her to a place where she can be quiet. and just right. And I unfortunately, fortunately we have so many wonderful things going on that doesn't happen as often as she'd like, but we're hoping to get to that place. And I think that's where the committee comes in. Was that a
You guys are sneaky.
right?
Sneaky.
Quick, close the door.
Well, you know, my dad had this when he wrote a song for Ka'u, because he lived in Ka'u. He used the analogy e hapai wa akako. It means it takes all of us to carry the canoe. Yeah, when the canoe is filled with fish, because we've gone out fishing, it's gonna take the village to carry this canoe out. But here's the other thing: is when you fish, don't overfish because you can sink the canoe. Right?
Just enough.
Just enough. You take just enough to feed the village, and then power, you go again. But it takes all of us to carry that canoe. So it takes all of us to bring the community together to fortify some of these aspects of a time that's long gone that is truly healing, that has been just put on a shelf somewhere. So it's time the committee will go get it off the shelf.
What are you looking at me for?
Because I think you're a good leader. Wow, Jess punched me back. Oh, sister. Oh, I get leaking already tonight.
But you know, what I like is that we recognize many hands make the work light.
Yes.
And so when we go about doing things, I'm not a fan of recreating the wheel. Why? If there are people out there that are masterful at what they do, let's find them. And let's ask them if they're willing to help, how they can be a part of what we're doing, and then share the kuleana, because it comes beautiful. You have it's like having 100 different people painting a mural and then stepping away from it and going, oh wow, what is this? And that's HMPS. We have so many people from all different walks of life with different specialties. We have an auntie who just came on board with us, who is retired and been voluntold by one of our board members. And we're queens at that. She came on board and she does administrative work for us. She still works for an attorney, and she just retired after 30 plus years of being an executive administrative assistant for the YMCA. And now she's here helping us. So, you know, it's like everybody come together and we all do stuff together. And I'm so thankful. And so,
Mahalo, ladies.
That's where the committee comes in.
Yes. She looking at you, girl.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Every time I meet with them, they look at me. The last time I saw them, they cornered me in zippies.
Sorry. Oh, that's right. You were actually in the corner, literally inside the booth.
Literally
Get
stuck
out.
in the corner. Oh my gosh. So good.
Thank you for having us. Oh, this is so good fun.
Well, is there a song?
Yeah.
That you
would you
would like
honor us
to-
with the song?
Yeah, since we're out here at Maunalua, we should do a song for King Lunalilo. You know, here's another thing too. You know, we have 3 national anthems in Hawaii. Yep. One written by King Lunalilo, one written by Princess Liliuokalani, and one written by King Kalakaua. Right? A lot of people didn't know. So here, but this is not his national anthem or the national anthem of that time. This is the one written for King Lunalilo as he travels to America by ship. Originally a chant, and then somebody put Mele to it. Music. No ke ano ahi ahi ke aloha I ka hali ali ana mai o ko ula he o ke iala ke lu mai nei na pea ke hiu nei ka hele u ka hae maope Hulia e oe A hele ka uala E ia I ka moana Lipo lipo Ka ua ku ka ua A ho'ila E ike a maleka ilana Ha'ina ko inoa o ke alila No ka lani luna lilo he inoa Ha'ina ko inoa ke alila No ka lani luna lilo he inoa He inoa He No ka lani luna lilo he inoa. Mahalo, mahalo.
I'm all teary-eyed. Teary-eyed. It's because
Well,
we're right here.
Yeah,
We're right
here
here.
in this honor. Yeah.
Mahalo for the important hana that you folks are doing.
Oh,
and
mahalo, you folks
what
too.
you're doing to uplift our lahui and just being there for us. And what a wonderful talk story session. So,
yeah,
mahalo.
Mahalo to you.
And we'd love to do it again.
Oh, yes.
Because by then we're going to have a committee. Wait, I'm going to do this the right way. Because we're going to have a committee.
Committee. He's just passing them down.
Oh, too funny. Too funny.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we talk about inspired by Aloha, I'm going to get teary-eyed like Jeninne made us teary-eyed all night long. But when we think about the intention of our podcast and Aaron's initial dream, this is the perpetuation of it. Your initiatives and your dreams for the future generations of Hawaii, right? And how beautiful this gets recorded. And I told Aaron, yeah, every time we have some amazing people that we meet, we're like, oh, it's recorded,
Right?
you know. And who knows,
Posterity.
like 100 years from now, yeah,
They're going to be listening to
somebody
this.
will listen. So I can't believe you're videotaping when the tears are falling down my face, Shireen. But so thank you. This is truly inspired by Aloha. Yeah.
What if our listeners want to learn more about you or how they can get involved? What can they do?
Oh, call Auntie. She's going to start a committee.
Hey,
We need a committee for that. We have, they can reach out to us. Either they can call us, and our number is 808-348-3322. Or they can send us an email at info@hmpshawaii spelled out.com. I would say our website, but like I said, lean team. Oh, by the way, we're always looking for somebody that can help us with
Another committee.
a committee
Website.
for our website and social media. So we do have a website. It's hmpshawaii.com. And we try our best to keep it updated, but not always, but come check it out, or by all means bring your talent. We'd love to have you come join us and help us grow, help us build the lahui, help us share Mele Hawaii. I know my lane, and I know it's administration, but there's so much hana to be done, and we welcome the wonderful helping hands.
Beautiful. Next events coming up
Yes.
that people can visit.
Well, as of today, our next events, well, this season, fourth Sunday of every month, we are at Vai Collective, Mo'ili Ili, and it's from 3 to 5 p.m. Hot Kupuna Nights. So we it's called Hot Kupuna Nights because, and I think we started to tell the story earlier. We had a show called Na Kupuna Nights, and that's the intention. That's what it was going to be called. But our board member, Aunty Kuʻuipo, who is a longtime disc jockey, right from Maui and now on Hawaii Island for Kappa Radio, she kept calling it Hot Kupuna Nights, and finally we said, oh, whatever, we'll just call it Hot Kupuna Nights. And then said, you know what we gotta do, right? We gotta turn off the AC. All these hot kupuna. But it was the project was actually, it was born in Hilo because we wanted to go back to Auntie's hometown, and that is second Thursday of every month. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary in January of 2025.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's been growing, and it's so cute because the program starts at 4:30 to 6:30 on a Thursday. So again, kind of dark. I mean, it's not a real high traffic night. It's at a bar at Ekomomai. And actually the owner of the bar is Aunty Kuʻuipo's cousin. So we said, okay, we'll come, let's do this. And so starts at 4:30, kupuna knocking on the door at 12. And so yeah, of course, yeah, because they gotta make sure.
Kapura seat, that's why.
And then when the during the night they say, okay, they go give crinkly handshake to the waitress and go, here, this is my table, okay, next Thursday, go be this. And then they go, Auntie, no need. They go, no, hang on to this. So second Thursdays in Hilo, Hot Kupuna Night, 4:30 to 6:30, and then fourth Sundays on Oʻahu, 3 to 5 at Mo'ili Ili Vai Collective. Yes, this Sunday.
So busy.
Yep, and then on various Mondays throughout the year, we do an event called Waikiki by Moonlight at the Kuhio Beach Hula Mound, free, open to the public, and it's from 6 to 7 p.m. And Aunty Kuʻuipo MCs that event. She's our lead vocals and a storyteller, and then we have musicians, and we have a couple different halal that trade off. And they come and share. And we also have Kamakapili that does, he dances for us too. Oh, so good fun. Love that boy. That's Auntie's baby. Yeah.
Your baby. Next gen.
That's right. And then we...
He probably on Comedia.
Yeah.
No, we're going to get him on camera. Because, we PR, right? Yeah. So we get this kind of PR, but then we get the working hands, the wahine, the mana wahine, and then we get Kamakapili here. Baby, take the rest. You go make nice for everybody.
That's right. And then Auntie also plays at the Queen's Arbor, which are the pavilions that are directly across the street from Alohilani Hotel. Right now, Fridays, Saturdays from 10 to 12 with Kai Coffee. So grab your coffee, come sit down, enjoy Mele Hawaii. And Auntie gets to share with the visitors. And kama aina alike, there's quite a few that show up. History of Hawaii and our mo'olelo through Mele.
Yeah.
Wow. And what is the name of this?
This is called the Lokomai Kai Hawaii Heritage Center in honor of King Lunalilo.
Beautiful.
Very good.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Auntie, will you take us home with a song, and then we'll close this session with our aloha to our folks. Oh my gosh, I love everything that you sing.
Right there, inside. How about aloha?
As described by Pilahi Paki, taking every letter of the word, giving it a value. The A stands for akahai. I like to use the definition to be unpretentious. The L stands for lokahi, to have unity, but that unity begins within ourselves. The O for olu, kindness. Without any question or action or response, we be kind, regardless of our own attitudes. The H, ha'aha'a, humility. The last A, ahu nui, patience, waiting for the right time. Akahai and ahavai Lokahia kulike olu olu ka mana'u ha'a kukulana aho nui alana kila aloha mai e na Hawai'i o ke aloha no ka mea nui e ala mai e na Hawai'i na pua lei na mamo na pua lei na mamo a ka hai e na Hawai'i lokahia kulike olu olu ka mana'u ha'a kukulana aho nui alana kila aloha mai e na Hawai'i o ke aloha no ka mea nui e ala mai e na Hawai'i na pua lei na mamo na pua lei na mamo na pua lei na mamo la mai la hui laula e kaulana o mai ka lehu lehu hae o e Hawaii ano aino me ke aloha 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 aloha
Wow. Well, with that, to our listeners, oh gosh, Erin's crying. She's gonna make us all cry. Thank you, Auntie and Jeninne, for a truly beautiful evening together.
Our honor.
And we are truly inspired by Aloha. To all of our listeners and our friends and family, ahui ho. Until next time, malama pono.